Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It is Fame with Tiffany Renee. Fame stands for Freedom of Artistic Means of Expression. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to the channel, welcome. So glad you could make it. Thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad that you found your way over to this channel, to this video. This is a safe space. I say this in every video. We are a community where we don't do any negativity, no hateration over here. So if you are sipping on some haterade, this is not the channel for you. There's other channels that will cater to that, but not this one over here. We are an inclusivity type of channel, so all people are welcome. And we talk about all things quantum physics, metaphysics, vibration, frequency, law of attraction, spirituality, things about the mind, the body, the soul, everything, aliens, the universe, all things to help us on our journey of this thing called life while we are in this 3D reality, in this human flesh body. So thank you so much for coming and joining me, and thank you to everybody who watches my videos. Whether you like my videos, thank you for liking any of my videos and giving them thumbs ups and all that stuff. Speaking of, feel free to like, share, and subscribe my videos. I appreciate it so much. I love it when you all leave me comments. It makes me so happy. And feel free to leave comments, ask questions, and all that stuff. I actually might do a Q&A video. So if you all have any questions that you want to know about any of the videos that I've done, if there's something that sparks your interest, or if you have questions yourself about something that you are trying to manifest, especially if it's something that I've manifested that you've maybe seen in some of my videos, like something that I've manifested a lot maybe, or you just want, just some advice or some perspective about something, please drop a comment, ask a question, and I will probably compile a certain number of questions and try to maybe do like a Q&A video. And you can be anonymous as well if if you don't want anybody to know who you are. You can be anonymous and just ask your question. So feel free to drop some questions in the comments and try to get some answers for you and help kind of just guide you, and hopefully it'll help. Today, we're still doing the absolute most with the accessories. Yes, I know this is like really one long piece, and I wrapped it a couple times because it's like super long and I've never worn it yet. So, and this is like an earring and it says baby girl, and I actually have two, but I just it's my Sagittarius necklace. Shout out to the Saggies, and just doing the absolute most because why not? Why not? Okay, why not? Come on with the accessories. Okay, topic of today's video. This is actually an update. We're doing an update video today. So 7 months ago, I posted, I'm sorry, I keep thinking I have lipstick on my teeth because it's like a real like wet lipstick. 7 months ago, I had posted a video about how I manifested releasing approximately almost 30 pounds. I think it was about maybe between 27 or 28 pounds at that time, almost 30 pounds, just by changing my belief system. So it was like a weight transformation video. And it was one of the videos where I was like lounging in bed. So it was like no makeup, no glam. I was just like in bed. And I talked about how I had started my journey. I don't use the word weight loss because and I did explain it in that video, but I will touch on it again here. So I will say weight release. And I know a lot of people use weight loss, but I will say my weight release. Okay. And I'll explain why. But I did talk about that. So I didn't have any videos. I mean, I'm sorry, photos. And I realized that I didn't upload any pictures because I don't think I knew how to do it. And I didn't take a whole lot of before and after pictures. I think just a few. But I was operating from a place of inspiration and not motivation. And I think I talked about that again in my video, Inspiration versus Motivation. You can check that video out. And I did talk about my weight release journey in that video as well, I believe, how inspired action over motivation kept me going like a year later, because I think I was about a year in to my journey. And this is an update on how my journey has been going since I started it in 2020. But this time, I'm going to upload pictures, like before and after pictures from previous years versus how I look now in 2022. So you can see like the difference, okay? Or as the kids say nowadays, I came with receipts, okay? I'm trying to keep up with the lingo, okay? I don't know, right? So I will post before and after pictures at the end of this video so you all can see. And the before, because I just had my 2-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. On May 25th was my 2-year anniversary of this journey. And all of the pictures that you're going to see, like I just did these new before and after photos, and all of the after pictures are taken within the last 6 months, like from like the last couple of days of December, like from December 29th, I think, or so. So like from December up until like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so within the last 6 months, all of the after pictures were taken. So they're all very recent. They're how I look right now. All the before pictures were taken between were 2017 up until 2021. Okay, so including the time frame where I was already on my weight journey. So all of the before pictures were either 2017, 2018, or 2019, 2020, and 2021. And actually the last picture that I'll post was actually one in 2020, I believe, when I had just started my journey. I was still in, my hair was like super short, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that was like 2 years ago. And then the side by side, I was wearing the same sweatpants and everything, and I'm like, this is 2 years later. So I will post those pictures at the end so you all can see the transformation. So I will get into it. This might be a tad bit of a lengthy video, as most of my videos are. So just hang in there for the ride. If you are a person who is trying to manifest, or, you know, deliberately manifest physical change, a physical appearance change in your body, feel free to sit and watch this video, because that's what this video is about. And I'm giving you an update on my weight transformation, weight release journey. And in case you feel free to watch the previous videos about it, I'll give you a quick recap in case this is your first time hearing about it and you don't want to go back and watch the other video. I'll give you a brief rundown, and then I'll talk about what I did, the techniques that I did, and what I'm currently doing to maintain that momentum to keep releasing the pounds. And then you'll see the pictures at the very end. So I'm sorry if you hear noise. It's summertime, as Elephant Man would say. And so there's a lot of motorcycles and stuff like that driving back and forth. So I apologize. And my allergies have been acting up. So sorry if coughing, sneezing, sniffling. My nose is itchy, so bless. We're going to get through it. I got my water. We're going to get through this, okay? In 2020, let me back up. I was born a chunky child. Okay, let's just put it there. I was a 10-pound baby. Okay, so weight was always a thing. Like I was a chunky kid, I always had the fat cheeks. I was just a roly poly. Okay, always was until maybe like 9 or 10. I started to really thin out, and like when I moved overseas and stuff. So, but then when I was about 12, for some strange reason, you know, the fam felt like, you know, I was picking up weight. I don't know, because I don't know, started becoming a woman, I suppose. And I feel like they were just projecting their own insecurities or whatever that they had about their own bodies and trauma or whatever onto me. And because of that, there were just a lot of negative narratives being spewed my way. And I received it all because I was 12. And so, because of that, I was put on like diets. I was told that I was fat. It was like, and I wasn't. Like, I wasn't. I mean, I had a little booty and a little hips and thighs. I mean, I was becoming curvy, you know what I mean? But I wasn't. I mean, I had small arms, I had a flat stomach. Like, I wasn't fat. I was becoming a little thick because I had become a woman, you know what I mean? But I wasn't fat. But I was told that I was. Maliciously told that I was, consistently, day in and day out. So at 12 years old, I was put on ridiculously strict diets. I mean, eating nothing but boiled eggs and oranges for like 6 weeks. Like, I mean, ridiculously strict diets. Having to get up before school and go outside, in the dark and walk for an hour every day, 5 days a week. Like, it was ridiculous. Constantly berated about my weight. Oh, you're getting fat. You're fat. No one wants somebody who's fat. No man is ever going to want to be with you. And, in that society as well, it's like, oh, no, you have to be skinny when you get married. And then when you get married, you get fat. You get plump. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, a man wants to be with someone who's skinny first. You get married when you're skinny. And then he wants you to be plump when you're married. Like, it was that whole mess, right? And, I guess for encouragement, the parents, I guess, were also going on diets, and they dropped weight like that, like, whatever. But it was so detrimental to me. And I grew up with that complex. I grew up, my weight fluctuated all the time, all throughout, high school. When I moved back to the States, I picked up any weight that I had lost. Like, it would double and triple and quadruple. And then other in the home, other family members, it went from one family member to another. Like, it stopped with one, it ended with one, and then it started all over again with another. When I was in high school, it's like, oh, you would be so pretty if you just lost, you have such a pretty face, but you'd be so much better if you just lost 50 pounds. You know what you should do? If you just ran, 3 miles a day, in 1 year, you would have the perfect body. And then you would be amazing then. Like, if you just lost 100 pounds, you would be perfect. It was that. And the crazy thing is, in their minds, they were encouraging me. Like, that's the warped, that was like the warped reality. Like, the delusion was that if we say these things to Tiffany, she's going to be encouraged to get her body together. She's going to be encouraged. You're not encouraging me. Like, they weren't encouraging me. They just made me feel worse about myself. Do you know what I'm saying? If you could relate, then you already know. And it just made me feel worse about myself. And I got bigger. And it wasn't necessarily because I ate a lot. You know what I mean? Because especially when I was still living at home, because everything was controlled. Like I couldn't just get up and just get whatever one. You know what I mean? I ate whatever my grandma cooked or whatever, whoever cooked or whatever. Like I wasn't one to like really like sneak food like that. You know, maybe occasionally like a candy bar or a bag of chips sometimes or whatever, but I didn't like hoard food and stuff. Like I know some people with disorders they would do that and stuff like that, but I wasn't that person. I wasn't like a binge eater stuff. Like I didn't do those things. I think a lot of my weight came from stress and the pressure of having this idea that I needed to lose weight. But of course, knowing what I know now, I was manifesting the weight gain because I kept focusing on I got to lose weight. I gotta lose weight. I gotta lose weight. I gotta lose weight. And the universe was like, you're absolutely right. And I kept getting bigger. Do you see what I'm saying? I kept getting bigger because I kept needing to lose weight. You can't lose weight if you don't have any weight to lose. You see? You see how your vibration, how thoughts become things? You see how this works? So really, I didn't know what manifesting was, but I was manifesting myself getting bigger anyway. So I just dealt with it. And I used that as the catalyst to define everything in my life. I couldn't have anything unless I was skinny. I had no value because I wasn't skinny. Like I use that as a reason. If anything ever happened to me, if I maybe tried out for a play, even through college, I carried that with me into college. If I remember I tried out for a play and I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, it's because I'm fat. Like I immediately, anything that happened to me, if I didn't, even in my adult years, if I didn't get a job, I immediately thought I didn't get a job because I was too fat. Like every little thing that happened, I immediately thought it's because I'm fat. It's because I'm fat. It's because I'm fat. It's like, no, how about maybe you just didn't get the job because you weren't qualified? Like, like, how about maybe you just didn't get the part because you just didn't get the part? Like, bless. I mean, maybe it had nothing to do with your weight whatsoever. That never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that there would be any other reason why I didn't get something or something didn't go in my favor that wasn't because of my weight. And I remember I was in counseling one time when I was in college, and my counselor at the time, I had counseling once a month, and she, every time I went to counseling, the only thing I ever talked about was my weight. Like I never wanted to talk about anything else. It was always my weight. It was always my weight. I tried out for cheerleading, both in high school and in college, and I didn't make it, especially in college, because I knew that I did well. Like I knew I did. Like I knew I slayed the audition. I know I did. I made up a good cheer. I didn't make it the first year because I had never cheered a day in my life. And I was offered to come and just kind of like be like a manager. And so I did. And I spent a whole year with them. I trained with them. I helped them. I helped make up cheers and choreography. I did everything. I had my own sweatsuit with my name on the thing, all of that, just to prepare me to audition for the second year. And then they didn't choose me, but they chose another girl who messed up like the entire routine. Like we had like 2 routines or something. She messed up like the entire routine like 4 different times. Like she was not a good cheerleader. Like I'm just saying, like no tea, no shade. Like the audition, she was terrible. And we were in pairs. And between me and her, I'm just being honest, I know that I did it perfectly. I did not miss a beat. The only thing she did better than me were that her kicks were higher and her jumps were higher because she was like a size 6 and she could get up higher. and she was more flexible. That was it. I know I demolished that audition, and they still picked her over me. They found uniforms to fit me, everything. And that's what I was devastated, because once again, I was like, okay, it was because I'm fat. Of course, that was going to be why, because I had so much momentum going that about my weight, that the universe still had to keep showing me evidence that my weight was a hindrance to anything that I wanted to do. Everybody knew. Even the other cheerleaders were secretly coming up to me and were like, we think you got robbed. Like, even they knew. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, bless, if any of y'all are watching, but love y'all, love you all, but we know that was some mess. We know that, right? But my point is, I know that I manifested that, though. Like, I know I manifested that result because I had so much momentum going. My narrative was that I have no value. I can't get ahead until I'm skinny. So, of course, the universe wasn't going to bring me any form of triumph because I wasn't skinny. Because that wasn't the narrative that I had, right? Okay. So again, when I would go to my counseling sessions, it was always about me being fat. I'm like, my problems are because I'm fat. That's all. It's because I'm fat. And she had asked me one day, okay, so Tiffany, do you think if I had a magic wand and I could just wave a magic wand and just go like this, and boom, you have the perfect body that you think the perfect body is, and you just look like that, and you could walk out of my office in the perfect body, and you were not fat anymore, do you think all of your problems would disappear and you would be completely happy? And I said, yes. And she just looked at me and she just nodded really, really slow. I mean, what else could she say? Now we know that's like a big red flag. It's like, oh, hunty, child. That's just like the beginning of your issues. Like, clearly that's a big red flag that no. Clearly there was so much more buried underneath. Yeah. That was kind of sad. Now, like, thinking about that. However, weight had always been an issue for me because it was always so much resistance. Because I hated the fact that I felt like I was fat, and then I hated the fact that being fat was an issue. And because I didn't know it was until I was told I was when I was 12. Like, I mean, yeah, when we were kids, people would be like, oh, you're fat or whatever. You're like, okay, whatever, because, you're a kid. You're like, okay, whatever. And, but like, we weren't teased about it constantly. Like, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, people weren't consistently coming up to me and like always berating me with like fat jokes and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't until I heard it every day. I know some people do go through that, and bless, I have so much compassion for people who have to deal with that on a regular basis, because it can mess with you. You know what I'm saying? If you let it. And because when I was 12 and I started hearing it every single day from my household, it was supposed to be my safe haven. You know what I mean? But I was being berated with that. And not even in a loving, like, oh my gosh, we just want you to be happy. Because I wasn't fat in the first place. There was nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? But I was just being berated because they just wanted to be mean. Because they felt so much whatever anger or trauma that they hadn't processed, and they were just projecting it out on somebody else. And they just projected it out on their kids. You know what I mean? And that was a target. They just started targeting me. in that way. I guess because maybe I had gotten just a little bit thicker, but not like that. Like that was just completely uncalled for and unnecessary. So, I should have said this in the beginning of the video. Trigger warning. I'll probably put this in the description because I don't want anyone. Obviously, people may be triggered by this, especially if you're going through it now or if you have gone through it. And, sending you hugs and lots of love, if you are going through it or you have, because, I know what that's like. But there's a point I'm trying to make with all of this, because I just feel like I had to lay the foundation so that that the journey wasn't an easy one for me. And I don't just mean for the physical side, but I mean the mental side. Like all I ever saw was fat. I didn't see a person. I saw an ugly, horrible, fat, blobby monster who was worthless, who was not attractive, who needed to take what she needed, what she could get, who had to take the most mediocre jobs, who needed to be careful with, whether or not she could negotiate salary, whether she was good enough to work certain jobs, whether even when it came to dating, like, oh, don't be picky. Whoever thinks you're attractive, whoever tells you that you're cute, whoever just comes your way and talks to you, if whatever they do for you, then you just got to take it because you're fat and you're ugly. And anyway, and so if anybody shows you any attention, you just need to like cling on to that, because nobody else may come your way ever again. All of that came from the consistent berating of being told that I had no value because I wasn't skinny. And all of my worth was tied up in looking a very, very specific way. And if I didn't meet that expectation, then I needed to have no expectation, because my life was just going to be garbage. When I tell you that was so much programming, like that was like 85% of my programming since 12 years old. And here I was going into my 30s. Okay. I was in my 20s by that time. I had finished college. I was out into the workforce now, still carrying that same narrative. And it showed up in every single aspect of my life. I was always trying to find, no matter what I did, even when I did have, certain victories here and there, may have gotten a good job here and there, started getting paid a little bit better here and there. Sure. Sure. You get your apartment. Yeah, you get a car. You think you're starting to move up a little bit. Started learning about The Secret and the law of attraction. Okay. Start doing a little bit better in certain areas. You start getting into certain relationships. Sure, they're not great, but they're okay. But what always came back around was, I gotta get this weight off. I gotta get this weight off, because I just kept getting bigger. I gotta get this weight off of me. I gotta get this weight off of me. Okay, let me try this diet. I was just always trying to find the next best thing. What's the new diet out there? What's the new craze? What's going on now? What's the new? I tried so many, like, seriously. And I think I talked about it in my previous videos. Like, I did so much of it. Like, because that's all I knew. Like, that's literally all I freaking knew was dieting. And all I knew was how to hate the body that I was in, how food was my enemy, but simultaneously, food was my I was an emotional eater, because while I looked at food as my worst enemy, I also looked at it as my saving grace. It was also like my closest friend, kind of. So I would emotionally eat. I had developed that. And I would snack a lot, and all of that, all the good glorious foods that they tell you that you're not supposed to be eating, or whatever, all of that. And I would yo-yo. I would go home for Thanksgiving, and we talked about, at some point my weight would come up. At some point I would get I'm not happy with your appearance. At some point, you know what I'm saying? Every year. Like, it was just, and I was in my 20s, you know what I mean? In my 30s, and still to the point where I would be getting publicly humiliated at restaurants because of what I would order. Like, it still became that. You know what I mean? And I had gotten high 200s, creeping it up to the 300s, until ultimately I was almost teetering to the 300s. I hadn't even quite tipped the scale at the 300s yet, but I was close. And I started doing all the stuff that I knew how to do. What's new out there? What's new out there? I did the Beachbody stuff. I did the P90X stuff. I did the Shanti stuff. I did the Zumba stuff. I did Black Girls Workout too. I did that. I did T-Tap. I did walking, but then something was going on with my joints. My cartilage was like grinding, so they were like, there's too much friction, so you can't walk. You have to do low impact exercises. So I had done like water aerobics for a little while, and I had tried going to like little gyms at like other like apartment complexes or whatever, and try to do like treadmills. I had tried to do those type of things, and try to get into like certain stretching and breathing like exercises and stuff. And like, I had tried doing getting into Pilates. I had tried doing like all these things, and I had tried doing all kinds of diets. I had done the Zantax, not Xanax, but like Zenadrin. I'm sorry, Zenadrin. Remember Zenadrin? I was taking Zenadrin. I was taking, there was another one in the blue bottle. I was taking all kinds of diet pills. Whatever the new diet pill that was out, I was taking it. Okay. There was one before that came out before Zenadrin. It was like their biggest competitor, and I can't remember, but it was like something burn or whatever. And it was super popular. I was like, I would take them and I would feel the jitters. I would start getting shaky and I didn't care. And I was taking all kinds of diet pills. It was a mess. Like, I'm, by the grace of God, that I'm still here, because it was crazy. I shouldn't have been taking all those crazy pills that I was taking. But every kind of diet pill that came out, I was on it. I was ordering them. I was taking the fat blockers and the carb blockers, and taking them before you eat stuff. Like, I was doing the stuff with the containers and the portion out stuff, put the stuff in the containers, and then I was ordering everything. I was doing the Shakeology. I was doing this. I was doing the, you just eat brown rice with salmon for like 7 days, and then you switch it and you just eat like boiled eggs and brown rice for another 7 days, and then you switch it. I was doing the miracle soup diet. I even went back to old school, like Slim Fast. Yes, I did the no carb diet. I did the low carb diet. I did the only protein diet. I tried being a vegetarian, which only lasted a week, and I almost died. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, when I tell you, I was doing every freaking diet from the age of 12, okay, up until, I want to say 2020. Like, I was just off and on, different type of diet regimens, workout regimens. It's ridiculous. Okay. I would be up at 3, 4 in the morning watching those paid programs, like, right? Watching all of those stories of what's the new exercise gizmo that's out? What's the new, what's the new workout that's being promoted? What's the new diet plan that's going crazy? Like, that's, what is it? What is it this time? You know what I'm saying? And I would order them. If I had the money, I would order them. I'd do the free trial, and I would do all of that. I would take the pills. I'd buy the powder. I'd buy the shakes. I'd buy the little gizmo. I'd buy the DVD. I'd order the program. Like, I had spent so much money over the years. I would go to the doctor and get the plan, to the point where even when my doctor sent me to the bariatric center, because she just recommended that I get, because by that time I had tipped the scale over 300 pounds. And I actually was. My heaviest was 312 pounds. And she sent me to the bariatric center to go and get the surgery, weight loss surgery. I didn't think I had gotten that bad because I was still very much mobile. I could still move around and everything, you know what I mean? And everything like that. Like, some people definitely did need it who were there, because we had to go to a consultation. We had to listen to the surgeon tell us about what the procedure was and show us and all that. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't want to do the procedure. And they said, okay, we can give you like just the diet itself. But the diet was so strict. And again, I'm not against anybody getting the surgery. Like, I know many people who have done it, very good friends, close friends, and it's worked for them. Bless. I was just a little scared and apprehensive because, first of all, I didn't think I needed it, because I didn't think that my health had gotten to the point where I didn't think my weight had gotten to the point where I needed it, where it was crucial for me to get it. Some people, I think it has, and they know. I think this is going to help me and jumpstart me to having a better life, a better quality of life, where I can be mobile again and stuff like that. I didn't think, it was just like when I was put on a diet when I was 12. I wasn't fat. But even if I was, like, it's like I was 12. Like, I would have grown out of that anyway, I'm sure. But even if I wasn't, okay, love me chunky at 12. Like, unless I was going to be in danger of being unhealthy, like, unless something was going to happen, like, you know what I mean? Unless my health was in jeopardy, let me be a chunky 12-year-old and love me at 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even that is just ridiculous. But again, my health was not in jeopardy. Like, I didn't have diabetes. I mean, I didn't have high blood pressure. Like, it would be occasional, we would kind of be all over the place, but I was not on blood pressure medication. So I just didn't understand why she even was wanting me to go to that extreme, to go through that major surgery. But I went anyway for the consultation. You need like 6 months of like psychiatric evaluation. Like, you have to go to therapy for 6 months before you're even approved, you know what I mean, to make sure you're in the right mental space to even get that surgery done, to make sure that you understand that this is not the be all end all. Like, you still have to do work. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just didn't understand why she wanted me to go there. But anyway, they had a non-surgical way, which was like just another diet. And I looked at the diet, and I had my consultation with the dietitian there. And because they're the bariatric center, they're in the business of making sure that you drop a lot of weight in a very, very short amount of time. Like, they're looking for you to drop like 40 pounds in a month type of situation, right? And I'm like, okay, but I'm not trying to get the surgery though. Like, I understand that if you're trying to prep people to get the surgery, they need to drop quite a bit within a certain amount of time before their surgery date. Okay. But I'm not getting the surgery. So why do I need to be dropping so much weight with it? Like, I'm not in a rush. Like, why can't I? But those are the only kind of diets that they provide. But I looked at the sheets, okay? It's like, it was a packet, okay, of like 4 or 5 pages of the list of what you can eat and what you can't eat. And I'm telling you, it was maybe like 3 or 4 of the 5-page packet were what you can't eat, and like maybe like 1 or 1.5 pages of what you could eat. And when I tell you, even the things that you could not eat on the do not eat list were like fruits and vegetables that you cannot eat. You know what I mean? And I was looking through, obviously, aside from the usual that they don't want you to eat, you know, sugars and starches and carbs and all that, it's like you can't have vegetables, you can't have fruit, like you can't have citrus fruits, you can't have stuff, and you couldn't have apples. And I said, I can't eat apples? Why are apples on the do not eat list? I can't eat an apple? And she looked at me and she said, no apples. And I said, but it's an apple. And she was like, I mean, if you're going to eat an apple, you might as well drink a whole can of Coke, because that's how much sugar is in an apple. And I was like, okay, so I can't eat an apple. Okay, so no apple. I'm not even joking. Like, the number of fruits and vegetables that were on the do not eat list, astonishing. It was astonishing, right? Which I will get to in later on in the video to prove my point about something. Because a whole bunch of other people in the diet, health, foods community would disagree with a lot of things on that list and say, oh no, you need all of these, this, and this. And they're telling you that no, you can't eat any of this thing. That's all. So, but I was like, I would never be able to survive on this diet. Like, I may not even be able to survive more than a month. And while I might drop a significant amount, I can probably guarantee you that it will all come back, because I will not be able to sustain this lifestyle. Like, I will not be able to eat the, I don't know, 17 items on the list for the rest of my life. Like, there's no way that I would not be able to create a sustainable lifestyle just eating what they had on that list. There's no way. Because I would miss all of the things that you couldn't eat. Like, I was not willing to make that big of a sacrifice to give up every single thing that I ever wanted, that I ever enjoyed, ever. No. I just wasn't willing to only confine the rest of my life to these like 17 things to eat for the rest of my life. I just wasn't, or at least for 6 months to a year. Like, that was just too rigid for me. And I just said, I'll just have to find another way. And I just was yo-yoing, and sometimes I get inspired to get up and try to walk or go do something, and then a lot of times I wouldn't, and I would be depressed a lot about it. I would feel just depressed and gross and just say, okay, whatever. And then after my last relationship, when I was 29, I stopped dating. So I was really just like, well, I'm not dating nobody, no way. I'm done with dating. I'm taking a break, and I'm working on myself anyway. I need to get my mental right, and I'm just going to focus on my mindset and just get my vibe in my mind together. I'm not even thinking about a relationship, so I don't have to worry about nobody trying to love me for me or whatever, because I got to figure myself out. So I wasn't trying to get cute or whatever to please nobody anyway. So I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to impress nobody anyway. So it is what it is. And I've kind of been that way for like the last 10 years. Now, over time, I've learned glitter. I've learned so much, just so much about myself and about life and about energy and frequency and vibration, about the power of our words and our thoughts and momentum, and the momentum that the narratives and our foundation has, and the power that it can have over us if we don't check it and adjust it. Learned so much. And fast forward to May 2020. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, May 22nd, to be exact. And I had come across a picture of her. Sorry, I think I feel a sneeze coming. It might go away. And I just, came across a picture of her for that Mother's Day, her and her sister. And I said, "Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. You look fabulous. Is this a throwback?" And she was said, "No, that's a recent picture." And I was like, "Girl, you look good." She had slimmed down so much. And she said, "Yeah, I've been doing this workout called Extreme 28 Fitness. Me and my sisters and some other friends from some of her childhood friends, they had like a little group thing, and they were doing the workout online, like virtually, because we were kind of still quarantining and stuff like that." And I said, "Oh, okay." And it was funny because I had called her about something completely different, had absolutely nothing to do with working out or anything, because I had just attempted to get up and go walking like maybe a week and a half before, just to walk gently because I was fasting. So I just did like a light walk around the church parking lot next door, because I felt like I need to get my body moving, because I did really have a desire to just feel better and just be more mobile and stuff, and be lighter, because I really didn't like what the scale said the last time I was at the doctor's office, and I was teetering between 306 and 312 pounds, the heaviest being 312. Pretty consistent at 308, but going to 312 a lot. And I was like, I didn't like that for me, because I didn't like how I was feeling, and how I would go out and have a good time and do karaoke, and then the next day I could barely walk because my knees would be so inflamed and so swollen. And I just didn't like that feeling, like to the point where I would have to crawl a lot of the time, or like walk pigeon-toed because I couldn't straighten my legs. And I just didn't like that. Not the way I like to go to concerts. I would go to a concert and jam and rock out and not be able to walk the next day. It would just take me like a couple days to recover. And so I guess it had just reignited something, like a desire. And I just took the initiative just to try to walk, just maybe like a week before, or a week and a half before, for 3 days. And then my feet started hurting, my arches. I have like arch supports and stuff, but I'm like, my feet were hurting and my knees were hurting. And I was just like, oh Lord, this is this again. And I was just so discouraged, and I just said, forget it. And then so like a week later, I called my friend, and there we are, we're talking. And it comes up, working out comes up again. And then she gives me, because I love this friend so much. And I was in her wedding in 2019 as a bridesmaid. And we just started having this conversation. And it was just so uplifting and inspiring. And I was just like talking to her. And she got on her journey, because she was on a weight journey for several years as well. And she had seen a lot of excellent results and stuff too, but she was really, seeing results with this. She had been doing it since January, and it was May then, and she was really liking the results and stuff like that. And I was like, well, it looks like you're doing really well, and I'm proud of you, because you're looking good, girl. And she said, well, why don't you try it? It was like something that she had to pay for, like a monthly subscription or something. She was like, well, I mean, I've already paid for it. Why don't you just jump on? You can use my login credentials. Everybody else does. And I pay every month for it. So just try it. The next one starts on Monday, which was May 25th. And I was like, okay, I might try it. Because Ramadan was going to end that Saturday. So I'm like, okay, Ramadan ends on Saturday. I'll try it. And that's how I knew something had changed in me. That's how I knew that I was ready to really take this journey, because it was not an immediate, nah, I ain't trying to do that, like it was in the past. Because before, if anyone would have come up to me or had a conversation about weight, I would kind of feel that not in my stomach, like, I ain't trying to talk about that, because it would be like an immediate kind of defense thing, like, I ain't trying to talk about that. I ain't trying to talk about weight. I ain't trying to. It was that. Very closed off, because I was self-conscious about it. It just wasn't a friendly conversation for me to have. I didn't do that this time. I didn't react but I responded. And that was different. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. It wasn't like a hard no. I said, I'll try it for a week, sure. So that's how I knew something was changing, because I was open. I was in, as Abraham Hicks would say, the receptive mode. I was open to receiving a way, an answer, because I had asked. You know what I mean? I was like, Lord, there's got to be something. There's got to be something out there for me. Like, I want my body to just be better. I want to be able to move better. There's just got to be something. And I think I just said it like off the cuff, maybe even out of a little bit of frustration, but clearly whatever I said, it called forth that conversation with my friend, made her, I guess, the conduit or the channel. And then she invited me to do this Extreme 28 fitness. And fast forward to a couple days later, that Monday, and I did it. I did it the first day, and I did the whole 30-minute workout. I thought I was going to die. I felt so sick. I thought I was going to throw up. And I had to lay down for the rest of the day because I felt so nauseous. Okay. And it was the beginner's workout. Okay. I thought I was going to die. I did. But I didn't stop though. I didn't give up. I didn't give up. Because the first thing I would have done in the past was, I can't do this. This time, I said, tomorrow will be better. And then the next day, like I couldn't hold a plank. I couldn't hold a plank for more than like 2 seconds. The next day, same thing. Did a little bit better. Held the plank for a little bit longer. The third day was like a rest day. Then by day number 4, I was holding that plank. By day number 5, I was holding the plank for the whole 40 seconds. Okay, listen. As of right now, I could hold a plank for almost a minute. Like I could probably go like a whole minute and hold a plank now. You know what I mean? Like before, I couldn't even hold one for 2 seconds. Here we are, two years later. I could hold a plank for a minute. I could probably even go over a minute. Like really, if I really push myself, you know what I'm saying? I can go longer. I could probably go for almost a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Really. But yeah. And it was on and popping after that. I was doing the workouts. I was in the chat, in the group, every single workout day. Like I was on 5 days a week following the schedule. And so after the first maybe week or so, I was thinking, okay, that voice came in like, well, you're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to get on a diet now if you want to see results. And I think I tried trying to diet for maybe 2 or 3 days, and I immediately felt the resistance, and I started to feel like I wanted to quit working out. And I said, okay, universe, clearly you brought me this workout situation for a reason. And I feel like the eating thing, because I love food. I'm a foodie. I know why I enjoy it. I've done my research on myself. I understand the type of eater I am, but I love my food. I love all of it. I do not like restriction because of my past experiences with the whole dieting and restriction thing. I don't like it. I'm triggered. I feel triggered by it. And I want to enjoy the foods that I enjoy because I'm living this life. This is my life, and I want to enjoy the things that I love in my life. And I love carbs and pasta and ice cream and burgers and pizza. And I love fruits and vegetables of all kind. And I want to be able to eat my strawberries and my apples and my melons and my grapes and all of the things. I want to be able to eat whatever I want and still slim down. Like I don't want that restriction. I want my ice cream and my chocolate and all of that. I don't want that restriction. But I still want to be able to slim down. And then I'm telling you, ask and it is given. Okay, seek and you shall find. because I think later that night I was on YouTube and I came across, I mentioned this in my previous video. So a lot of this is repetition because I did say this in my other videos. But I'm just saying, because I know this video is long, so it's like already at 55 minutes. But I'm just telling you, this is exactly how it happened. I found this video on YouTube, Juliet Cleary, and she talked about food in itself, how there's no such thing as junk food. And she said you have to stop calling food junk food. There's only food, because everything has a vibration, everything has an energy, and it means whatever you say it means. Like, it does whatever you say it does. It is whatever you say it is, right? So she said there's no such thing as junk food. There's food is only food. There's no good food. There's no bad food. It is whatever you say it is. And so she said, just stop calling food junk food. All food is good food. When I say that, resonated with me so much because I have such a huge appreciation for food. And so I don't call food junk food. There's no such thing as junk food in my world, not in my reality. So in my pantry, I have Oreos, I have Twizzlers, I have potato chips, I have Bugles, I have Ho-Hos, I have whatever. I have ice cream, and it's all good food. All of it. It's all good food. And she said, it's good food because you're blessed to have it. You're blessed to have the variety of foods that you have. Not everybody has that privilege, you know what I mean? So all food is good food. There's no such thing as junk food unless you say it is, right? And that resonated with me. And I said, I can accept that perspective. And then there's another lady, Andrea Schulman. She had another video that she talked about how she trained her brain to believe that she could eat up to like 4,000 calories a day, ice cream, pizza, whatever, and she always has the best fit body. And she said her body is better now than it was when she was 20 years old and she's had 2 kids. Her body is banging, okay? And I was like, I can get behind that too. That resonates with me too, okay? And then I watched some other videos of other people talking about how it's all a vibrational thing. Everything is vibrational. And talking about what causes, fat to stay with you. A lot of it is just trauma. It has really nothing to do with the food that you eat, a lot of it. And it's just stuck energy and how it causes your body to expand when you're in danger. And, and if you experience trauma, it makes itself bigger. All these other different things that the body does to protect itself, and how your body can expand or contract. Like all these other elements that I needed to see for me. And this other woman had popped up, and she said something that was like really profound, which is why I don't say weight loss, but I say weight release, is because she said she had been trying to lose weight for so many years. And she was talking to this woman, and she was like, had said something to her. She said, oh my gosh, no, I can't have that. I'm trying to lose weight. So no, I can't, have that, whatever with you. And the woman told her, well, you'll never lose weight if you keep saying that you need to lose weight. You have to stop saying that you need to lose weight. You have to start saying that you are releasing weight. And she said, well, what's the difference? And she told her, when you have to lose something, when you lose anything, your brain has certain, I guess, connections, or associations with certain words. And so when you say to lose something, by definition, when you lose something, the ultimate intent is you want it to be retrieved. If something is lost, you want it to be found, right? That's the logic. I lost my keys, so I need to find them. I lost my phone. When you say I lost something, the intention or the vibration that's being sending out is, I want something to be retrieved. Return something back to me that is not here. So if you say, I want to lose weight, what's actually being transmitted is any weight that's on my body needs to be returned back to me. She said that's why people can lose weight, even a tremendous amount of weight, but at some point they gain it back, and they usually gain even more than what they lost. But if you say, I am releasing weight, the connection that your brain has to the word release, it means like to eradicate. It's gone to the point of no return. It never comes back. When something has been released, there is no connection for it to return. And so when you release something, it is gone forever, baby. Bye-bye. You're released. Bye. When I saw that video, that was a huge turning point for me, baby. I was like, holy ravioli.